Hello, I'm going to show you how to do the knit stitch. I'm going to show you both in the throwing method, which is what I use most of the time, and the continental, which some people have found is faster. Though you can knit whichever way you find is most comfortable for you. This is how you do the knit stitch in the throwing method. Take your last cast on stitch, it doesn't matter what kind of cast on you did. Insert the needle. Make sure that they could either be straight up and down, but it's good if they form an X this way, with both ends up. Take the yarn around in between the X. Pull them down, and then make sure to catch that as you go down and back through that stitch. And then you slide it off. Insert, wrap around, slide it down back through, making sure to catch it, and then off. Just put it in, wrap around, slide it back through, make sure to catch that. If you don't, if you only caught a few of the fibers, you can actually go back, pull your yarn off, wrap it around again, and then do that stitch one more time. It doesn't matter how many times it takes for you to actually get the stitch, just as long as you don't shred your yarn too much. Just wrap it around. You see I'm keeping tension with this hand and these fingers, mostly these two. Keeping tension so that the stitches don't become too tight or too loose. And this first row may be hard to knit for you because of the method that I use to cast on. The first row can be a little tight. But there are a few ways that you can fix that. But if you don't mind that first row being a little difficult, the next rows will definitely be a lot easier once you start working with them. Go in, wrap it around, pull it up and through. And if that happens, if you pull too many off, just calmly slide your needle back in. Go through, loop it around, down, and off. Just go in, wrap around, down, and off. And you just keep doing that until you run out of stitches on this needle. And that would be your first row. You'll notice that there are bumps on this side. You'll want to make sure when starting your next row that this bump here stays down and you don't accidentally do this, because then you'll increase at the beginning of every row. And now I'll show you what some people call the continental style, which is very similar, except how you hold the yarn and how you get it around the needles. You wrap it around your left hand, your finger, and you can move it or wrap it again to keep your tension. Get my tail out of the way, and you insert the needle as you would with the throwing method. So you form the cross, or the X I should say, so they cross, and then you have this needle swoop down and get the yarn that way. And then you can use this one to help hold it there as you go down, and you slide it off. You have to make sure to keep the yarn in the back when knitting. So you slide it up through, make sure to wrap it around so it catches it, and pull it through. Slide it off. You keep doing that. You make sure they go up the right way. Make sure you loop it around so it catches the yarn. and then through. And you'll have to give yourself some extra yarn every once in a while, just so you can continue knitting without pulling the tension too tight. And then off. And you can use this finger here, your middle finger, to help hold the stitches so that too many don't slip off at once, because some needles can be very slippery with certain yarns. And off. Put it through, loop around, and off. And I like to hold these stitches down once I'm done with them with this finger, so that way when I go into the next one I don't have to worry about it sliding off. Around, down, and off. Put it in, go round. So you see it still goes between the two needles, but it just also loops around more to the back instead of just coming off of here. Down and through. Loop it around, down and through. Then loop it around and through. And here's another row done. You can see that some of them may look like they're a little bigger than others, but once you're actually done with your project, you can take that whole thing, kind of tug on it and stretch it out once you're done to block it, and a lot of the stitches will even themselves out. Either way of knitting gets you the exact same result, but some people feel more comfortable doing one way or the other. Either way is fine, and as long as you just keep doing that, this piece that you will make is actually reversible. So even though there's a right side and a wrong side, you actually won't be able to tell the difference.